And joining us now is Democratic Congressman James Clyburn from South Carolina. Congressman, thank you for being with us. First, your reaction to Kirk's killing and what appears to be another act of political violence in this country.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I reacted on yesterday to this, calling it senseless, unspeakable, and quite frankly, I can continue to hold that feeling. There's no place in our political discourse for violence, and those who contribute to it ought to really take stock of themselves and think about what kind of country they want to live in, what kind of country they want to be here for their children and grandchildren, and start acting in the best interest of leaving a good, reproductive country for our children. All of this recrimination that's taking place, these political contests that seem to be getting out of order, or nothing new. I mean, we've had this in the country before. I was around when Medgar Evers was murdered back in 1963. In fact, I'm only a year older than Emmett Till. In 1955, Emmett Till was murdered. And a lot of that was the reaction to what had taken place in 1954 with our Supreme Court decision. There are all kinds of things people do in reaction to things that happen that they may not totally agree with. The fact of the matter is, none of us ought to be in agreement all the time. That's not the way you grow. You have a cross-fertilization of thoughts, activities, and all of that lead to a good, productive country for all of us. So I would hope that people involved in this process would tone the rhetoric down, do what is necessary to create a good climate in this country for all of us to have political discourse, and also work on making this place a better place for our children and grandchildren.
How do we do that? How do we turn the temperature down?
Well, the first thing that we do is to remember the golden rule and practice it in our politics. Doing unto others as you would have them do unto you. I mean, that's what this is all about. We can disagree without being disagreeable. We can lay out our thoughts, our ideas for the future without denigrating other people's ideas. Let's just be who we are, be for what we are for, and listen to other people, respect other people's opinions. You know, I stayed married to the same woman for 58 years. We had a lot of disagreements, but we stayed engaged in matrimony, hoping the next day we'll get some agreement.
Well, and you point out the differing opinions, and being able to discuss those differing opinions is a big piece of how we grow as individuals and also what makes this country so great. The Wall Street Journal editorial board says in this moment, the president in particular has an opportunity here, writing as the president as a survivor of a near assassination himself, and especially as Kirk's political ally and friend, he can help the country rise above this madness. He can say that this is the moment when the descent into political violence must stop. Do you agree that the president could make a difference here? And what would you want to hear him say?
Yes, I do agree with that. And I would ask the president to take a look at the way we do things down there in South Carolina. One of his greatest allies is the governor of South Carolina. Now, Henry McMaster, who was the first governor to endorse Donald Trump, and I are good friends. We don't agree on almost anything politically, but we do believe in South Carolina. We believe that the people of South Carolina elected us to do what's best for our state. And that's the same thing here with the president. Democrats and Republicans can disagree. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing. But it doesn't mean that the other person is wrong. It just means that you don't agree with it. And so I think that the president can speak out at this particular juncture and say to those people who are out on social media talking about taking revenge, revenge for what, against whom? We have no idea. At least I don't, and I haven't seen any reporting that anybody else knows exactly who did this and why. We don't know what this is all about. We need to wait, cool things down, let the investigators do their work, and they'll come back and tell us what they have found, and then that's the time to react, and then react in a positive way, not a negative way. We learn early that two wrongs don't make a right. And if you want to get things right, you don't do it by doing wrong for that which is wrong.
The eye for the eye, making the whole world blind is what comes to mind for me. Former
Absolutely.
Congresswoman Gabby Giffords, who herself was shot at a political event back in 2011, released a statement saying, in part, this summer, America has seen multiple politically motivated assassinations, first of a Democratic legislator, now of a Republican activist, because dangerous people turn to guns to express their disagreements. Both parties have been targeted, and both parties share a moral and patriotic duty to take meaningful action to stop gun crime from claiming more lives. Do you see this as a galvanizing moment, a unifying moment between you and your colleagues across the aisle on Capitol Hill?
Well, it certainly can be. I served with Gabby. I think she was one of the most remarkable people with whom I've ever served. And quite frankly, her husband, the senator, is going to be in South Carolina this weekend. I was scheduled to be with him. My staff called me this morning down there saying to me that they are not sure that I should keep some of the public appointments that were on our schedule. We're working through that now. But I am scheduled to be in another state tonight and tomorrow, back in South Carolina tomorrow night. And I think Senator Kelly is going to be in South Carolina as well. I would hope that things would cool down and so that people can continue to go about their business in a way that would be productive for everybody.
Are you concerned for your safety or your colleagues?
Well, my staff is concerned. I've just got off the phone with my district staff, and they have canceled events for this weekend. I do have a church service to do on Sunday. I've asked them not to cancel that, and we'll see how it goes. But I think that they have gone about canceling all my other appearances for this weekend in Columbia and Charleston.
We wish you and everybody around you safety and security. Congressman James Clyburn, thank you for the time this morning. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me.